Hello and welcome to Tennessee Valley this morning on WTMB. Joe and Kim Palo with you. It is Wednesday. It is beautiful, and it has been.
I know.
Can you believe it?
Figure. You know, and it was supposed to be bad, really bad on Easter Sunday, and it was. You know, it rained in the afternoon, but it was beautiful.
Well, it rained in the morning a little bit, then it stopped.
But for church time, it was beautiful.
Yeah, and then the afternoon came again, and then that was it. That was the
end. And I got to babysit. I know there's a lot of grandparents out there, and almost all of our friends are grandparents, and we're not. Our children have not procreated at all, and we thank the Lord for that daily. But we have a grand puppy, and it's a Chihuahua, and it's about that big, but it's trouble.
Well, it's trouble.
And
it likes to go under your feet. Somebody's going to step on it and smash it sooner or later because it goes right under your feet, and it's you know that's not a good thing. However, when Kim had to bring it back to give it back to Corey, she absolutely cried hysterically.
Not hysterically,
now, yes,
but
hysterically.
like a baby.
Well, or like a little schoolgirl.
Yes.
That had to give away the puppy.
Puppy, right.
And needless to say, I thought, what if it was a child? I mean, forget it just being a puppy.
A puppy's not that hard. I mean, I can imagine that if it was a child, I would be like, here.
Well,
but it was a puppy. It still had puppy breath,
yes,
and it would kiss me and sleep on my neck, and
But we still would give the grandchild one of those little rawhide sticks, though, wouldn't we? To chew on, keep it busy.
Well, yeah, because those biscuits, they get all gummy and icky, and so the rawhide sticks aren't as messy.
But it is cute, and needless to say, it took.
Well, there's no ugly puppies.
No, it took, and there are ugly babies. It took from.
We've seen his pictures. We know.
It took from Thursday when we got it until when it went home
on Monday.
Our dogs just started coming around.
Right.
They were like, okay, and now it's gone.
I know.
So.
But they're really kind of happy. They're still looking for him.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We got a good show today. Ron Moore's already in the house, so he's going to be first today.
Thank goodness, because he always has good, interesting stuff.
I know, he does.
You know? And we also have in the house, well, not in the house, right? She's going to be in the house. Tracy Shellhouse from New Hope.
She comes the first weekend every month, and so we're excited to have her. And Angela Free St. John.
Yes. Angela Free St. John will be with us to talk about the St. John Medical Clinic, and of course, Dr. Angela Chiropractic. And I was talking to her the other day, and I told her, I said, I always thought when may he rest in peace, her dad, Dr. Ronald Free, had his chiropractic practice. I used to always think, wasn't that a neat take on a name?
Right,
where
free clinic.
Free chiropractic.
You don't mean free.
Well, this is what I asked her.
Free.
I said, I'm going to ask a question, and you may think this is ridiculous, Angela, but I need to know. When I saw that, I thought it was a neat take on a name. So I was just wondering how many people may have come into his practice and said, "Is this free? Is this free?" Because she said people actually did.
Well,
they would come in there and say, "So now this is free, right?"
I'm really not surprised you didn't go in there. I'm just surprised you didn't ask me.
Well, let's put it this way. Well, no, this is the thing.
That it's free.
If back in the day,
maybe you did, and I just don't remember.
If back in the day, before I knew them, I'd have gone in there and said that, and I would have been told no. There may have been some kind of a lawsuit involved here, because I'd have said, look, you're false advertising. You got free chiropractic up there. Come on. But no, I never did go in there.
No, and you didn't ask me. I mean, you didn't say, Kim, let's go over there and get us a free. They said it's free for me to say, Joe, shut up. No, it's not free.
Right. Well, so now you can go in there and go, okay, where's my free St. John? Where's my St. John at? Because I get a free St. John, you says. Angela Free St. John. So where is it?
Right. It's kind of like St. Christopher.
No, because there really is a St. John still around. St. Christopher has been, he was around.
No, he was around. He just got desainted.
But he wasn't, but there's St. John is still St.
Well,
John.
yeah, St. John is still St. John, so never mind.
So there's no St. Christopher. We just call him Chris now.
I'm Chris.
Chris, what'd you do?
What did he do? I don't know what he did. He must have
I think there was discrepancy. There was a little discrepancy.
You have no
Listen,
idea.
when you become sainted, okay, there's certain criteria you've got to meet, such as myself, okay? Right. There's like 2 or 3 little bit of criteria I have to meet, and then I'll be considered. But when you become sainted, okay, they can take it away I can still be a saint, Kim. I'm living with you. That's reason enough.
Well, now that is.
Please.
That is.
I mean, you know.
The Catholic Church will change the rules on all
But
that.
what I'm wondering is how many saints live in hell is what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I don't know of any that are there. They're all up in heaven. This is the only one
the saint
right
that
here.
lives in hell.
Lives in hell.
It's going to get much worse.
I'm married, for goodness sake, so come on. All of us can that are married.
Let's talk to Ron. Let's hush about this.
All right, really, real quick, though, real quick. Now, we've got spring has sprung. We've got some nice weather. So
white shoes, ladies, have at it.
Okay,
but
now, yeah, because
not with black hose.
Because yesterday, Kay was talking about that, the white shoes. You can wear it after Easter.
Right.
So it's time now.
Until Labor Day. Then.
So we got wonderful weather. Hopefully, now it's going to get cooler again.
I know.
For a little while, but then it's going to finally burst through, and we'll have the.
Everybody's mad at the hog,
groundhog.
The groundhog.
Yeah.
But Alan Mincy, he put on Facebook that,
Yes,
Alan, how can you be mad when you put your trust in a rodent?
Exactly.
So,
right.
I mean,
and here's a guy that sits, and his co-host happens to be a little stuffed animal. So, Lou is his little stuffed animal as a co-host.
I know.
So he's worried about the rodent.
I know. Let's talk to Ron.
So we got Ron.
Right.
We got Dr. Angela, and we got Tracy Shellhouse. But before we talk to Ron or Angela or Tracy, you know what we got to do?
We got to take a commercial
Yes,
break.
we do. So we're going to be back with more.
Joe.
Thank you, appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
St. Joseph is what I prefer. I also make aspirin.
Okay.
We're going to be back with more of Tennessee Valley This Morning right after this. Stay tuned.
Logan Thompson, attorneys at law, have built a firm offering quality legal services to the people and businesses of Southeast Tennessee. We have achieved expertise in all areas of law in order to represent our clients in a manner they need, deserve, and have come to expect. Logan Thompson, with 9 attorneys and an extensive and competent support staff, is available to provide representation in various legal areas, including family law, Social Security benefits, personal injury, criminal defense, workmen's compensation, as well as business and complex litigation matters. At Logan Thompson, we have been building a tradition of legal services for over 40 years. We have developed the finest legal services and are proficient in providing you with representation you can trust. Give us a call at 423-476-2251 to schedule your free consultation.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here. Doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat-screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy.
Welcome back.
Just reminiscing about good times
to Tennessee Valley, Tennessee Valley Authority. Tennessee Valley This Morning. A couple of orangutans here as we host the show. Talking about those two over there. Talking about those two over there.
Both called us. We
no, I didn't. Ron's not an orangutan.
If Ron didn't have good stuff to say,
Ron's always
we'd be walking. I know.
But let's introduce Ron. His name's up there. We've got to let everybody know. This is Ron Moore,
Everybody knows Ron Moore.
resident local historian that comes on our show each and every week to tell us some local history. And today, what do we have?
Well, first off, James got my name backwards one week, and it was Moron.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Well,
Nothing like a moron, but
I want to talk about the Cleveland Speedway. Recently, I have got to say thanks to all the people who showed up for the premiere showing of.
Yeah, you had a load of people.
Well,
about 600
people.
And so
you could have had church.
The next one is already started. The next documentary, Wilmore Media, has started one on Cleveland Speedway.
Oh, how good!
So basically, we hope to have that because the Cleveland Speedway opened. The first race was March or April of 1954.
Okay.
So this time next year, 60 years of continuous dirt track racing here in Bradley County.
Wow.
And we're going to do a documentary on that. And it's unbelievable the stuff we're starting to get already in on it. The first day that they opened it was on a Sunday afternoon, and about 2,000 people showed up for racing here in Bradley County in 1954.
No
you imagine
kidding.
there was no cable, there was no other
Well,
entertainment,
right,
so this
that's
is big.
true.
And dirt track racing had become big through the South. You know, if you go back to Dawsonville, Georgia, where they think the first dirt track racing was, a lot of moonshining, and there's a couple guys got out in the field and started racing their cars to see who had the fastest. And then a couple other guys joined in. They were doing that, and finally, there's people started showing up. Well, there's a guy named Raymond Parks said, "Well, we ought to maybe just build a little track here," and that's basically how dirt track racing started becoming an organized sport. Raymond Parks eventually went on. He had 11 guys who raced there in Dawsonville who become national NASCAR championships, and he loaned money to a guy named France who started NASCAR. So basically, so dirt track racing originally started with moonshiners, seeing who could race the fastest. And
So
you
dirt
know
track.
we didn't have any of that around here back in the
but
day.
our racetrack was because of racing.
Right, because 54.
Not saying there was never any moonshine
That
put
was
in
way
the
back
cars, or
or before the cars
put in the
started
cars
to
in
go.
two different ways.
Or put into the driver that was put into the
that's
car.
what
Some
he
of it
meant.
was in the, yeah, so it was in there.
But
so.
now let me ask you this. So really, the dirt track is the granddaddy of the NASCAR.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was all just dirt track racing, and then and still continues throughout the South. Not as many tracks as it used to be.
Right.
So it's pretty unique that Cleveland Speedway has been here for those 60 years in operation, and we know, and we hope it almost closed last year, and it got saved. So so what we're looking for though is, and we know that there's a lot of this out there. We need old pictures of race cars, race drivers.
All right, tell them.
Pit crews, the workers, the flagmen, the concession stand workers, and the fans. You need some of all of that. And we'd like to interview a lot of these people too.
Okay.
You know, that's original. And then what we really need is some old 8mm film. And some old videos from any era. If you have an 8mm film from the 50s, 60s, 70s, if you have a video from the 70s, 80s, 90s, we need to use those footage there. And it's unbelievable. We have some pictures now of the first race.
Really?
And it's very interesting. And if you look out over the Cleveland Speedway out there, you'll notice that the South Lee Highway wasn't what it was now.
Right.
There's different trees. There's trees out in areas and different areas. So, but there's a lot of great people that race there. Of course, Bill Elliott, famous driver,
yes,
been here.
exactly.
Kenny Wallace has won a race down there.
Really?
There've been a lot of famous people there, but then the local people are the real famous.
Right.
And you've got Doc and Cooney German.
There you go.
Doc German, yeah.
Yeah, Doc German's well known. Jack Cunningham was well known here.
It's loud out there. Is that not
oh,
loud
yes.
when you
Well,
go? I didn't know that.
I live a half mile from the racetrack. I can tell you
Oh,
loud. But it's according to which way the wind's blowing. Actually, when the wind blows away from my house, you hear it more in downtown Cleveland. And if it blows towards my house, they're in my living room going around and around. And I know one race lasted till 4 o'clock last year. But we're also looking for old programs and things like that. And other people, you know, Paul Holt was a racer down there. Gene Norris. They're the Richies, Bob Ritchie, and then the Fryer brothers were from out of Chattanooga, and they actually ran an ad in the newspaper saying is wanted someone to beat the Ritchie brothers.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. That's throwing it down, isn't it?
And now, because they come up here, and the Ritchie brothers, you know, one of them would get out with his crown and his cape and would bow to the crowds, and people either loved him or hated him. When I used to watch him, when I was a younger boy, we drove 1955 Chevrolets. That was the cars they were driving, and they were some wild fights and everything. And that was in the stands.
Right.
But in
so
the
it's
pits,
kind of wrestling and
you know, and of course
driving
there used to be an award if you sent your car over the wall. If you weren't careful down there on South Lee Highway, you could end up in Candy's Creek. Because you know that the north wall, that turns 3 and 4, could go out and above that. And there's Jack Cunningham was in a terrible wreck one time there. He flew about 25, 30 feet out of his car through the roof of his car. Wow. That's when they drove the old 39 Chevrolets, Fords and things. They had a rag top on there, and Jack had left his car parked out in the yard all summer long, and the seatbelt had rotted. Yep. And so when he got hit, he went flying through the air and was hurt very badly. And Doc German was immediately behind him and thought he hit his tire or something and thought he had ran over Jack. Okay. So, but you know, these are people there that I remember well, and just. You know, dirt track racing was a lot of fun. You know, it still goes on every Saturday night here in Cleveland. Out. Oh yeah, it's a great crowd down there, and you know. Concession stand was always my favorite.
Well, I was going to ask you because I know you always rate the concession stand.
They did have excellent food there, hamburgers and hot dogs and barbecue.
You said did like past tense, so they don't.
That's when I used to go
all the time. Because when we went, we had to take
a cooler. Well, we took a cooler.
Well, maybe what'd you take a cooler for?
For my Coca-Colas, Kim.
You don't have to take a cooler anymore. For a long time, you couldn't sell beer there or an adult
beverages
because there's a little church right next door.
Yes,
right there at the creek.
Oh, and that was
you had to be so far away from the church to be able to do that. So that church sat there for many, many years, and they could not sell beer. And finally, the church left, and now they can do that.
Okay, I just remember.
Yes.
So I remember getting
I remember going the days when it was $1.50 up to $3 to get in. It's went up a little bit now because the purses have went up a little bit now.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, they had a $10,000 purse.
Where I sat with the Shamrock.
Okay, and that was probably a huge race that they brought.
Oh yeah, it's a huge race. You know, they park along the roads all the way down the road I live on.
Right.
Over the old Ballard's junkyard, they're all parked back in through there. So it's huge crowds, and they're great fans. And like I say, I've got some old programming books already. I've got plenty of pictures. I've got people I'm going to interview. I don't have the videos yet. I need the 8mm video.
Right.
And that John Cook has agreed to. Sign on to do our original soundtrack again.
Oh,
he did the one for our last video.
Oh, wow.
So he's doing another original soundtrack. Dustin Coleman is going to be our narrator for this project.
Beautiful.
We have, it's really going together very, very quickly. And, you know, and let's say.
Once you got that first one under your belt, that you kind of knew where
we know what we're doing now.
Right, you kind of know.
And of course, we had great help from James in here. James done a great job with the titles and things. Right. I have to thank James publicly for that, and you know, they were big enough I could read them from anywhere.
I love that, and the right color to where you can read them.
So, we're looking at sponsors now, and people are contacting us, which is fun. You know, we're not out
having to
asking people now.
Yep.
You know, it's just like people calling you wanting to advertise.
Right, when you do that, you just.
Those are great things. So we're hoping that will come through true. So.
And we're going to get a copy of the latest one you just did.
Oh, yes. We hope that we'll get that ran here, and people are asking about it. We'll probably have another live showing probably at the Museum Center, and then we'll probably have a live showing somewhere in Polk County.
Right.
We were up at the Copper Hill Museum the other day, which they're going to be talking about the They're going to be carrying the DVD up there for the people in Copper Hill, so they're already having people asked about it, and so
that's great.
There are still DVDs available, although
you're going to start signing autographs pretty soon.
They are basically, I think there are only about 20 sets of books and DVDs left. So after
oh, really?
So we will reorder. But the first initial order just disappeared.
How can somebody get a copy?
They can go to oldtowncleveland.com.
Okay.
And you can always get in touch with us here at the station. We'll be glad to forward you on to Ron or Ron to you or whatever. But yeah, but Old Town Cleveland, I mean, you want to listen to them on Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock?
Like I say, go look for those old videos and old film that you have and get with us. We'll make copies of that for you. We'd like to interview anybody that raced those days. There are very few people that raced in the 54. Doc German was in the very first race at the Cleveland Speedway.
Wow.
So we've got him, and we have some other people. There are people, of course, every day when we start doing history, if you wait a week, you're going to miss someone.
Right.
We just missed Mr. Holt, died about a week ago.
Yep.
So we missed having him on there. So so it's just like in the documentary, the first one we done on Caney Creek, the lady we interviewed, she died 20 days after we interviewed her. So, so we just barely got her in time. So it is important to save history, and that's part of the thing that we do at Old Town Cleveland, and that Will has done, is that we've started doing history projects, and we think the Cleveland Speedway is far more interesting, or far more bigger interest than Caney Creek. I thought Caney Creek was a very interesting story, but there are just thousands and thousands of people who went to the Cleveland Speedway since 1954 through today.
Right, probably everyone, well, not everyone in town, but a lot of people in town have been, whether or not you are a racing fan or not, because I've been, and if I've been, and I'm not a racing fan, it's just, and it is a landmark in Cleveland. When you give directions, anything out on South Lee Highway, if you start with the Speedway, do you know where the Speedway is?
I know how to get to my house on Saturday night, but without turning off at the racetrack.
There you go.
See?
I literally live on that road a half mile behind the racetrack. We lived there when I was a young boy, bought my dad's house, so I still live there. So I know how to get to my house on Saturday night besides going down South Lee Highway.
Right.
So it takes a little time to get through the crowds there. And they're always just huge crowds.
Yeah, and as Kim said, it's been a landmark here
my
forever.
My favorite line so far is Doc German, who was at the first race. We asked him, did you ever race with people like Joe Lee Johnson? And he said, I don't know, I never had a rearview mirror. So with Doc German, no telling what we'll hear when he talks.
Well, how fun. That'll be fun, though.
And a very successful driver at the Speedway. He's won many championships out there.
Oh, sure did.
Well, it's always great, of course, to talk to Ron. We find out something that we didn't know. And of course, I didn't know that it's been around since 54.
I changed my subject. I was going to talk about how you lost the history of losing your sainthood.
Yes, that's another story for another day.
Right, yeah.
How people lose it.
It was too embarrassing, though.
And I
really only studied St. Joseph, and I cited decorum said do not do that.
And the whole thing about it is, though, there's some people.
What did it say? Do not marry Kim Palo.
No.
There's some people that agree, just like anything else, and some people that disagree. Some people still consider me a saint.
That's how you became a saint.
Right. Some people can still consider me the saint, though. It's a totally different thing.
Not me.
And Ron knows things.
That's right. You can talk to my friend Pope Francis. He'll let you know. He'll let you know in a hurry. All right. Ron, we thank you once again for coming on and telling us some history, because, again, it's always interesting with Ron Moore on Wednesday. And, again, as Kim said, don't forget, Ron and Debbie Moore every Saturday, 10 till noon on Whoop Radio 99.9, Old Town Cleveland. This week's topic will be
Colonel Benjamin Cleveland.
Oh, Colonel Cleveland. And guys, don't forget, if you have any memorabilia, any document pictures, and especially those
videos,
8 millimeter film that Ron and Debbie would love to have for their project, please don't fail to get in touch with them. You can get in touch with us, with them. Just find a way to get that stuff to them. They would greatly appreciate it. And that makes your project so much more interesting, too. I mean, the more pictures and the more stories and stuff they have, the more interesting it makes for all of us. So
that's right.
Be a part of it.
That's right.
And find that stuff.
All right. Ron, again, thank you so much. Guess we'll see you next week. Ron Moore.
Ron
All
Moore
right.
in the house.
We got
Not to
Dr.
go out of the
Angela,
house.
Dr. Angela Free St. John, and Tracy Shellhouse is on the way when we return after this. Stay tuned.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Logan Thompson, attorneys at law, have built a firm offering quality legal services to the people and businesses of Southeast Tennessee. We have achieved expertise in all areas of law in order to represent our clients in a manner they need, deserve, and have come to expect. Logan Thompson, with 9 attorneys and an extensive and competent support staff, is available to provide representation in various legal areas, including family law, Social Security benefits, personal injury, criminal defense, workmen's compensation, as well as business and complex litigation matters. At Logan Thompson, we have been building a tradition of legal services for over 40 years. We have developed the finest legal services and are proficient in providing you with representation you can trust. Give us a call at 423-476-2251 to schedule your free consultation.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning. It's Kim.
But it was because
Kim,
I was talking
once
to
again,
her. I know.
You know, it's coming back from break, and Kim decides to open up a conversation with Dr. Angela right then and there before we come back from break. She does it.
I know. We were chatting about stuff.
She was chatting.
I know. He's
Chatty
just mad
Cathy.
because he was left out.
No, I wasn't. I'm just way over here. As you can see, we are now joined by Dr. Angela Free St. John of the St. John Medical Clinic, located 55 Mouse Creek Road here in Cleveland. And of course, Dr. Angela is a chiropractor taking over the mantle from your dad from many, many years ago, as we've talked about, and people will see on the air here as we did our little info that we'll have on.
The second one.
The second one.
Right. I know. I learned a lot from the first one.
I
You know,
know.
you've got a lot of happy customers.
A lot of happy
I do
customers.
have a lot of happy
You do, and that's
Lots.
a testimony within itself.
It is. It is. I have great customers.
I'm telling you, keeping the fire burning. Now, but along with Dr. Angela Chiropractic, we now have the St. John Medical Clinic.
That is correct.
That's part of it.
That is correct.
So let's talk about it.
Well, you know, my father had a great vision to expand his chiropractic practice, and when he passed away, then I got the awesome opportunity to do that. And so I've taken the chiropractic part of my business and what I've always known, and we've mixed it with the medical side. And it's kind of a nice marriage, if you want to call it that.
No kidding.
So we get to give a little bit deeper treatment than just chiropractic.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with just chiropractic. It's great all by itself.
Right.
But we get the opportunity to add to that possibly some anti-inflammatories. We don't do pain management.
Right.
We don't treat pain management. We do joint injections, which we'll talk about hopefully a little bit later.
Yes.
And that's always nice to give a little more rapid relief of pain to our patients.
Yeah, and we talk about pain management, but what you do in your positioning of the spine does help people, if they have pain, either eliminate the pain or manage it to an extent so that so it finally does dissipate after a while. Because I know what we talked about, there's a lot of nerve endings back in here, and a twist here, a twist there can put you in severe pain for a long time.
It can. The twist, just stress itself. I see a lot of patients, and I make the comment many times that if it weren't for stress, I probably wouldn't be in business.
Right.
Because that's
So go
really
stress.
what brings,
See?
go stress.
I should be going every
Every
day.
day.
Twice, 3 times a day.
St. Joe.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
That's right. But you know, I have in the past. I haven't. You know, lately. I don't. Well, I was traveled a lot before, but sciatica. And
Absolutely.
that is the most painful.
Yeah, it
and
is.
it can just, you kind of feel it coming on, and you think, oh, is that going to be? And then by the time it is full blown, I mean, it is just almost, it's like a toothache or a migraine, one of those pains that you just can't, you know, ignore. Sometimes with pain, you know, just a regular headache or, you know, arthritis. Not all arthritis, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you can kind of put pain in the back of your head.
Sure.
But there's those certain things that are just up front and they're just like, ugh. And
And
sciatica is one of those.
Patients try a lot of times to treat it themselves
Right.
and try to get a handle on it. And by the time they get to me, it's got a handle on them.
Right.
So you're in so much pain, you can't walk, your daily activities are now screwed, or, you know, messed up. And so it's really a difficult thing when you have
It
pain.
really is. And,
Yeah.
and I think maybe even the older I get, and I hate to admit that, it's not really happening, but that, you know, I see more people with it. My mom suffered with it, and she's had epidurals. You know, she's
Sure.
had unbelievable treatment for that. But I have found in my life is the best is to just be with a chiropractor, and they can, I mean, it's amazing how quickly that you can take that pressure off of that nerve. You know, sometimes, and you know, I'm the world's worst. I will admit it. I wait too long. I wait too long to
Most
go.
everybody
That's
does.
where I'm, you know, I'm crawling in and I'm, you know, willing to sell Gibbs,
Kids, Joe.
whatever, you know.
I'm
just
willing to
please.
go.
You don't even have to ask. But you know, you get to that point, and sometimes
And we won't take just anything.
Just right.
Yeah, we won't take
Well,
just
and-
You're not free.
No.
Right. Well, what I think people need to realize in the scheme of things, if you do have sciatica, a problem, I'm going to say right here, right up front, right now, don't bother going to the hospital. Don't bother getting pain medicine because it is not going to help it.
That's right, it
It
isn't.
will
It's just
not
going to
help
mask
it.
it, and you
It may not
can't-
even mask it though.
Right, that's true, but it does. I mean, I've been both ways, but I'm telling you, a chiropractor, and it's just according to how bad you are and how long you wait, as to how, you know, long it's going to take for you to get some relief. Because I've done it both ways when I just felt it coming on.
That's
because
right.
I would tend to sit up on, when I drove a long distance, would sit on one side more than the other, you know, and it was
And
just
you know,
up to
people
me.
that drive a lot, they'll keep one foot on the gas, but they always want to draw that left leg up.
Right.
Instead of leaving it down, you tend to use it on the brake pedal if you leave it down. So you'll draw that leg up. So for however many hours they're in the car, they have one leg up and one leg down. And that in itself, besides the fact that men, and we had this conversation on our last taping, that men will sit on their wallet.
Right, absolutely.
And it's an easy fix. It's not
Right.
difficult. Sometimes I'll even check the bottom of their shoes. Are you walking on the outside more? Have you worn down part of your shoe?
Right.
And it's an easy fix sometimes. It doesn't have to be a forever thing.
Right.
We take care of the problem and then adjust your back and
And
you're
then,
all
you know,
pain-free.
what's causing that? And see, and now it's not because I'd gotten older. It was because I was in the car all the time, and I would
That's
pull
right.
this leg up, and I would sit, you know, I would pull it up
Sure
and
you
sit
do.
it up on the seat and put my knee, out, and that's what I did all the time, and it would just cause.
And not to mention sitting on my wallet, like she
I'm
does.
always on his wallet.
Sitting on my
that's
wallet.
Right.
That's
it's
not
very
what I had
flat. There's nothing in it, but I mean,
that's my license.
There you go.
But you know what though, and in all seriousness,
the sainthood papers.
The sainthood papers are in my wallet. But I was talking with Dr. Angela, and and I guess years ago there was that idea of medical doctors with the chiropractor situation, but I think that's all changed as we've talked about of recent. And I've had medical doctors tell me when I had a serious problem with my back, listen, I'm going to tell you what to do. You go see a chiropractor. They told me this now. You go see a chiropractor. And the reasoning,
never done that years ago.
No,
right.
I didn't.
And the reasoning for it is like what we've talked with Dr. Angela, is he said, or they've said, that chiropractors can help manipulate the spine to get those nerve endings away from the bone or where they, and that in itself takes the pain away. So yeah, couple 3 treatments with Dr. Angela and you'll be good as new. I can promise you. I can guarantee it.
Oh,
I like to say that chiropractic is like an antibiotic. When the medical doctor gives you an antibiotic, he usually gives you 30, and he'll say, or maybe he might give you for 10 days.
Right.
And he'll say you have to take 1 every day. If you don't finish the packet, even though you feel better, you're going to be sick again.
Right.
And that's the way it is with chiropractic. We're going to give you a series of treatments. And you're going to feel better before we're done. I guarantee you will. But if you don't finish the packet, you're going to be right back in about 3 weeks and say, I have this again. And then you didn't help me. Well, you didn't finish the packet. You didn't finish the series. So it's very important that you stay on the plan, whether it's a medical doctor or whether it's a chiropractor.
Yep.
And I'm
you have
guilty
to
of
follow the orders.
I'm guilty of
we
that
all
one, and you
are.
feel better.
You do.
You think, okay, I'm good to go. But yeah, you're absolutely right, and I would get in trouble every time I would, not in trouble, but
Yes,
know,
it comes back.
You didn't finish,
That's
and I'm
right.
like, but there's just a lot to be said, even for, like you said, relieving stress. Tell us how that I mean, because on that level, I mean, that's just an ongoing issue that you could really get some relief from, and
most
can
of the
help you
time,
relax.
stress settles around the neck area, just a collar around your neck. And it's from computer work, telephone work. A lot of people are on the phones. Of course, kids and families, you have all that. But most of the time, it's desk or office stress, and they get these relentless pains in the muscle that won't quit hurting. It's just a tight knot, becomes what we call a trigger point. And a trigger point is a muscle that is tightened, and it's gone too far, it can't relax on its own. And so it stays there. And actually, there's a little bit of decreased blood supply to that area. It's kind of like when I make a fist, you'll start seeing white spots around my knuckles. That's a little bit of decreased blood supply at the moment. And that's what happens to that muscle. You get a decreased blood supply. So then you get a constant ache. Then you get that, they'll say it's like a quarter or a fist right in between my shoulder blades. That's a trigger point. So we have adjustments that will help that. We have trigger point injections that are very simple and will give you relief in just a few hours.
And they don't hurt.
They don't hurt
at all.
I've
You don't
had
even
two,
know
actually.
it's right.
And the relief I got was phenomenal. And I am definitely pro chiropractic. But I needed a little extra. And that's what we have to offer.
That's what you have to offer. And also, my mom and everybody that knows, my poor mother, I have exposed all of her medical conditions. She's 81, I know. It's like, they
don't apply here on this show.
But she has terrible arthritis in her knees. And I think she had this done, I think like 5 or 6 years ago, and she's in Florida, or something maybe close to what you do, that has done miracles for my mother with her knees, because now she lives in an upstairs condominium. She has to climb steps every day. She's going to be 81 in May.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, talk about that product and what you can do for that knee joint pain of arthritis in the knees, because that is devastating as well. That can be a real buzz
crippler.
It can be. 90% of the people that we see have knee pain. And it doesn't make any difference of your age or your activity level. The knees just begin to wear out. And we have a product called Supartz. Supartz. And it is a gel. It's actually from a rooster cone. So it is a gel that we inject into the knee. Again, it isn't painful at all. It only takes a few minutes to do the injection, but that gel will seep between the joints and cause lubrication again. Steroid is good and it will reduce inflammation, but it doesn't ever lubricate the joint.
Right.
So this Suparts will actually lubricate the joint, and actually they have said that it will cause and create a small amount of cell regrowth. So not only will you lubricate the joint, reducing your pain, but you can actually retard or slow down and reverse the process of knee degeneration somewhat. So that's a really nice treatment.
That is amazing.
People in their 40s, 50s are getting it, exercising again and doing things that they couldn't do before. And we're seeing phenomenal results with Suparts injections.
And I think what you said, it's just it's a 5-week plan. There's 5 shots basically you get once a week, and then that's it.
That's it. It can last from 6 months to 2 years.
Okay.
And at that point you can choose to get it again if you'd like to. But it is a 5-series treatment, so it's once a week for 5 weeks. It takes 3 to 5 minutes to do. And usually by the time you leave, you can tell a little bit of a difference.
Mom can tell complete difference. And then she said that the first series that she had actually lasted a good while over 2 years. And then it's kind of the time element has kind of decreased, you know, in the past couple, you know, the last time, but nowhere near what she was doing when she was getting steroids. You know, she was doing a lot. She had done a lot of different. I can't remember the different things that they will inject and people will try.
And
but
steroids are very limited. You can only do so many.
So many, right?
And then you're set up for a knee replacement.
Right.
And I know that Suparts won't take the place of that.
Right.
If you're already into the severe degenerative situation. But it may definitely buy some of those who are in the mild to moderate degeneration, and that is determined by an x-ray that we take in our office.
Right.
And we can tell you if you're going to be a candidate for that.
Well, there's great results, folks. I mean, I know it firsthand with my mom. I mean, it has been amazing what it's done. No, is her pain? I mean, she's 81. No, I mean, everything hurts. I mean, everything I have hurts. So, you know, so anyway, but it has really made a difference in her life, and she goes those steps, you know, 5-6 times a day.
That's amazing.
And so, you know, it really has done a lot of good.
And I think another thing to bring up on that is that your practice is about the only one in this area that offers that right now.
Well, you know, we talked to the rep a couple of weeks ago asking who was doing it, and at this point he said I was the only one that he was selling to, and that there aren't any other reps. Now, there could be a different product, but as far as Suparts, we're the only one that sells Suparts.
Yeah, and folks, and this is obviously to help you. But if you are having any knee pain, or maybe you don't, maybe you're just experiencing it now.
You have that knot.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That knot in the
Absolutely.
back. And I know those work too, the trigger point injections, and they're
That's
pretty.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, they're pretty
if
instant.
you've got the knee, if you got the knot. So far, we've cured the knee a little bit.
We got the shoulders.
We've got the
sciatica.
Yeah, we
We're gonna have to go to commercial
sciatica
in a minute, and so we've got the sciatica.
We'll talk about migraines maybe.
We'll talk about migraines, right?
And then I want to talk about
I got one of those.
The medical side. I want to talk about the medical side as well when we come back.
That's right.
St. Joe and Kim Palo and Angela Free, St. John, when we return in just a moment.
Logan Thompson, attorneys at law, have built a firm offering quality legal services to the people and businesses of Southeast Tennessee. We have achieved expertise in all areas of law in order to represent our clients in a manner they need, deserve, and have come to expect. Logan Thompson, with 9 attorneys and an extensive and competent support staff, is available to provide representation in various legal areas, including family law, Social Security benefits, personal injury, criminal defense, workmen's compensation, as well as business and complex litigation matters. At Logan Thompson, we have been building a tradition of legal services for over 40 years. We have developed the finest legal services and are proficient in providing you with representation you can trust. Give us a call at 423-476-2251 to schedule your free consultation.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
This segment of Tennessee Valley This Morning is brought to you by Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland and 2120 Chapman Road, Chattanooga. For your next new or previously owned vehicle, make it Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the better way to buy.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning, and we are sitting here talking with Dr. Angela Free St. John at the St. John Medical Clinic located at 55 Mouse Creek Road, chiropractic and medical. We're going to talk, first of all, Angela, we were talking before we went to commercial. We didn't let the folks know. We know now, they know now, 55 Mouse Creek Road. But what are your office hours and your phone number out there?
Well, we've actually just changed our office hours this week.
Okay.
They actually made me work longer.
Oh, longer.
I don't know why I agreed to that, but yeah.
It's because the days got longer.
I guess, so I did.
Right.
So we're now open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5:30, and Friday mornings from 8 to 11:30. So now we have a 5-day week instead of a 4-day week. But that means I get to see more patients, help more people, and that is so my passion. I love what I do. I can't love on patients enough. I beam when they come in, especially those who've never been to the chiropractor before. They're a little apprehensive.
Right.
They're a little frightened, not much trust yet. So I get to walk them through that whole process and just love on them and talk to them about their condition. And it makes my day.
Now, as far as medical insurance, what insurances do you take? I mean, I'm sure maybe all those major?
We do. We take all the major ones, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Cigna. We also take Blue Care.
Okay.
A lot of people don't.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
we
not common.
do. We take Blue Care because for whatever reason you're on Blue Care, you still need chiropractic
and that
medical
comes back to
care.
patient care.
Yeah,
I mean, it does.
So we opened that up. Medicare patients.
Okay.
Workers' comp, motor vehicle accidents. There isn't hardly anybody we don't turn down.
That you don't take. No. So, you're good with your insurance there. And now when they first come in, are you going to do, a lot of people, you'll just do a workup and then kind of see what they're doing, well, according to where they're hurting. And so.
Absolutely. Anyone can come in for a free consultation.
Okay.
If you're not sure that we can help you, come in, let's talk about it. I'll sit down with you, we'll talk about your condition, ask you a million questions, because I want to know all about it, and then determine if we can. If we determine that you're not a chiropractic patient, possibly you can see our medical side. If that doesn't work, then we're going to refer you out somewhere. And sometimes we do have to refer out, and that's okay. Right. Because my job is to find the best physician for you. Sure. If I can't do it, somebody's going to have to. So we do that. I actually walked a patient next door. She needed a spinal injection, which we did not do, but she needed that, and I actually walked next door with her, stayed with her during the whole process, and got her back to her car when she was finished.
Beautiful.
So when you come in the office, we'll talk with you, free consultation if that's necessary. There's a lot of paperwork to do, as in any medical or chiropractic office, of course. We will do x-rays on the first visit. I don't treat without them. That isn't fair to the patient. That isn't fair to me. And I just don't treat without them. If they have current ones, they can bring that in, and I'll be glad to look at them. But if you don't have those, we're going to take them. We have a digital system at the office. So everything is right there. We also have a blood lab within our clinic, so if we need to do some blood testing, maybe we're going to check your vitamin D levels, arthritic levels, we can do that right in the office, and we'll evaluate you then and decide what kind of treatment you need and how long it's going to take, and it's that easy.
It's that easy.
It's just that easy.
It's just that easy.
And I think we need to mention on the medical side, we do have, and I'm going to show you how I can remember, nurse practitioner Angie Thompson.
There you go.
And Dr. Jebediah Marquez.
Obadiah.
I thought I had it there. Obadiah.
You were close.
I was close. Obadiah Marquez is the doctor on the medical side.
That's correct.
And you mentioned the blood work, and this was phenomenal. Is that still offered at that?
Arc Point actually is in our office. It's not part of me or
our
clinic, but they are in our office. It's called Arc Point. It is a phenomenal business, really. They do cash blood work. So everything is cash. They don't file your insurance, but they will do for $20 what the hospital will do for $190.
That is unbelievable.
They'll do a testosterone test. I believe it's $49. And at the hospital, it's $450.
Oh my goodness!
It's just amazing.
It is amazing.
And I am so glad that these companies are coming out and they're just being there, and you can go and get your blood work done and then go to your doctor.
That's right.
You know, so they're not referring you somewhere to go.
And you don't need a prescription to get blood work done.
No. Anything that you want to test or have
your
checked,
blood.
You can walk in and have it tested. Now, they're not going to manage the results for you, but they'll do the blood work for you, give you the paper, and then you can go to your doctor or you can come and see our nurse practitioner, and we'll do that for you.
See? They'll just do everything.
So nice.
And they'll also help fix a migraine.
Yes.
I mean, those are things that, you know, what we talk about are those things that are life, they affect your life. Your sciatica, the knee issues, you know, to be able to walk the greenway or ride a bike, or with the sciatica to even think clearly. Same thing with migraines. Migraines are like, they affect your life, they affect your ability to do those activities of daily life. And that's where you come in and you can really change a person's lifestyle in a sense with with your management of their condition. So talk a little bit about the migraine and how you can help a patient, and you know, just where you go when you just can't. Can't go any further.
Migraines are a very hard condition to treat medically. The only thing they really know to do is to give you pain medications. And you can't function with a migraine, but you also can't function on the pain medications. Chiropractic is a wonderful treatment for migraines. It's actually my favorite thing to treat because it responds within a few hours. It's amazing to see someone come in the office that's had a migraine for 3, 4, 5 days. Usually there's, you know, they have sunglasses on, or they can't talk to you, they don't want to open their eyes, they're very sick. And within a couple of hours, they have some relief. And it just continues to build. We do want to make sure that it's not hormone related or that it's not chemical related, because if it's a food allergy, then, you know, we're going to help you some, but we really want to know if it's spinal related. And if it's a spinal related migraine, it's an easy fix. It's not difficult. I actually had a phone call right before I came on the air of a gentleman who was calling for his wife, and he said she's scared to death. First of all, she's having these migraines and she's never had them before, but secondly, she's never been to a chiropractor. And I said, it's okay, bring her in. Let's just talk with her a little bit. Let her experience a little bit of chiropractic first. I don't need to do all the things that you've seen on TV or you know, all the scary things that you've heard. We don't need to do that at the beginning. We can walk you through very gently, but you'll be amazed at the results you get. So they're an easy fix.
Right, and I think a lot of people have that fear in the beginning because you know, because Joe's always doing that thing. Here, come here and let me pop your neck. You know,
you know better, right?
I know, but I'm like, thank you though. And I mean, even if he wants to pop my back, I don't want him to because it hurts when he does it. I mean, because he's just, well, not so much now that he's lost the weight, but when he was a big guy, he was just so, you know, he just didn't realize how you're still strong, honey. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're a strong saint. But
strong.
you know, but when you go in and you know, and honestly, and my dad was a patient of your dad's.
My dad's, yes,
and
of
so you know, I was brought up really on that care in a sense, and it's not. I mean, once you go in and once you start and you get relaxed and you make
Sure.
you know you relax, and it's just the fear of the unknown.
It is, and I'm going to build your trust first.
Right.
I'm going to build your trust and walk you through everything. No surprises. I'm not going to do anything that you're not going to be aware of.
Right.
And if I need to adjust your neck, I'll make sure you're ready.
Right.
And I'm not going to surprise you. And if that's not something you want, and some people don't, and they'll ask me, please don't manually adjust my neck. Okay.
Okay.
I have other things I can do.
Right.
I have other instruments. I have tables, adjusting instruments. I don't need to do that if that's really your preference.
But dude, they don't know what they're missing.
They
though.
don't know
They
what
don't
they're
know what
missing.
they're
It is.
missing.
It
I
is.
And it
know.
really does not hurt. I mean, people
it's just
have
the
this idea, well, that's going to
surprise
hurt.
element of it, you know,
It
and
does
you
not
have to
hurt.
get it all loose and ready, you know, all willy-nilly, you know, before. But that, I mean, when that happens, I mean, it's just like, I mean, I think I slobber a little bit.
We don't charge extra if you
Right.
do that.
But you know, I'm just like, oh, and I kiss and hug and all the rest. I mean, you know, but I mean, it really is amazing the difference that it can make. And I'm not just talking about the feel-good stuff, but removing that pressure from the nerve
it
endings
really
in the
does.
spine.
And it doesn't have to be painful.
Right.
And I tell my patients, especially the new patients, if you get an adjustment and you're starting to walk out the door and you don't feel better, then you need to turn around and come back.
Right.
Because we need to either fix something or do a little bit more, but you should never leave feeling worse.
Right.
Never. You should always leave feeling at least the same, if not better.
Right.
And I think you'll feel better because, like we said, it's just a matter of getting the treatments done.
That's right.
And when the treatments are finally done, you will be surprised at how great you'll feel. And it really, it does. It bleeds into your life, how you
It
treat
does.
people,
It
how you
does, it does.
how you act, how you feel. So
My dad used to call it an attitude adjustment.
that's
It is,
exactly
and
Yeah.
he's just very right.
That's
and
exactly.
He needs to
That's
come
right.
see you. Angela.
You need to go see the
I
chiropractor
know.
like every hour.
I know.
That's what I'm thinking. All right.
I know. I do. But you know what? As well is that anything, and sometimes you have to hurt to get better. We're not going to promise, you know, just a bed of roses.
That's
but
right.
A massage is the same way. There is no better thing in the world than to get a massage.
That's
but
right.
honestly, if you've got kinks and you've got areas, then it's not going to. It's you're going to be.
You're gonna be
You're going
sore.
to be sore, and
Yeah,
you're going to
for a
when
little
they
while
start
anyway.
digging in there, you're going to be like that. But you know, but it's always you come full circle.
You
and,
do.
You know,
You do.
It's a little pain with everything.
Well, we're about out of time, but Dr. Angela, if you will, real quick, tell us again the phone number and how these folks can get, they need to make an appointment or if they can drop on in.
I would love for you to make an appointment. Appointments are easier for you. That way you're sure that we're here at the office whenever you need us. Our phone number is 423-478-8989, and you can also find us on the web at Dr. Angela DC, drangela.dc.com.
There you go.
Wonderful.
Have
And
a-
guys, it's not any easier to find. I mean, it's across from Jenkins
There
and a
you
Little
go.
Debbie.
Yeah.
Everything with food with
Yeah.
me, you know. Where is it? If it's across, well, it's across from Jenkins and Little Debbie, so she's very
Yes.
easy to find.
And does a wonderful job, and as you can see, very, very personable, takes lots of care with her patients, and your care is what she's all about. So go by and see Dr. Angela. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you
We
for
appreciate
having
it.
me. I enjoyed this.
Yes, ma'am. And we'll have you back again.
I would
We
love
will.
that. I would love
Okay.
that.
All right. Well, folks, that's going to wrap things up for us today on this middle of the week Wednesday. We want to thank Ron Moore for being with us, and of course, Dr. Angela Free St. John of the St. John Medical Clinic. I'm St. Joseph Palo. This is my wife, Kim.
I'm the tyrant,
I'm a
Kim.
married saint. And anyway, it's another story for another day.
But this is a St. John over here, so I'm in the middle of
St.
two
Joe,
saints. What are you
St.
gonna
John, Kim. What does that tell you? All right.
go.
We'll
Have a
see you
great
next
week.
Wednesday on Tennessee Valley This Morning. Have yourself a great week. And remember to drive carefully today as you go about your business, all right? We'll see you next time. Have a good one.